In this video, I'm breaking down the exact offer formula I use time and time again with my clients to make them generate leads consistently online. And I'm going to show you and teach you 3 things throughout this video. One is how your offer, your content, and your system actually work together, so people don't fall off before they ever buy. And 2 is how to define your dream buyers. Not talking about demographics or that BS. We're talking about how do you truly understand their identity, their pain and desires, and using that as your messaging within your content. So you're not just attracting views, you're attracting people who will actually pay. And 3 is how to build a clear promise. The individuals where they're saying, I'm ready and I need this. So this is what we'll break down on naming your process, a proof, so your offer is just a no-brainer instead of just noise online. This is a straight pull from a live masterclass that I hosted, so make sure to grab your notebook. Let's get into it and dive into the nitty-gritty.
Let's go into the 3 different components of how to make sure that the algorithm favors what you do. And that is through the offer. Then from there, it is your content. Then your content to your system. And it's kind of all bridged up together. All right. So your offer, content, and system. Those are the 3 components whenever it comes to turning someone who's watching your content. Let's just say like little Miss Sally over here is consuming your social media content, like thinking like, oh wow, that person's like really cool. I really like this person. I'm talking about you. And we need to get them to obviously go to your offer, which your offer is this beautiful present. We like to say because your offer is a transformation, and we need to get them to obviously go into your offer. But here's the thing what most people miss. If you do not have this in place, then you're going to turn all of these people and they're going to fall off right over here. All right. And then if you do not have the content that's going to speak to the right viewers that are actually going to get to your offer, then they're going to fall out all through right here. All right. And then if you don't have the system to make it dumb simple for them to go to your offer, this is where they keep going further down. Now you are having in this stuck situation where you're like, I'm shadow banned. I can't do anything. Like, I'm just stuck in 200 view jail. There's nothing going on. Maybe my offer sucks. Maybe I'm not like an aesthetic. Maybe I need to use AI. You're thinking of all these outsourced things of why you're not getting to the leads that you want on social media. But in all reality, it's these 3 fundamental things that combine together to make it simple to turn these viewers into buyers. Now, there's an example that I kind of like to say with this because so a client of ours, Dom, he basically thought that he literally couldn't generate a single lead from social media. Like never thought about it. Was seriously like, I'm just posting it for the authority. I'm creating like all of the lifestyle content because that's what people do to build trust. And I'm sorry, like within lifestyle content, he was like, I honestly don't feel like myself. Like I don't even know who I am from online to who I am actually like in person because that they're completely 2 different individuals, but they're telling me I need to show my lifestyle to build credibility. And he was paying a lot. He was paying I think like 8K a month for just pretty posts with no conversions. And once we worked with him, I threw it out. I told him I was like, dude, we're not going to do lifestyle. And I understand what his superpower was. I like understood what he was good at, what he can yap about for days. We formulated into specific scripts. We understand his viewers. We understand how to make his offer irresistible. And literally within 3 months, he was getting 50 booked calls a week. And we were like, ad spend, nothing. And it was just by that transition because we refined this, and refined this that it made it so seamless where he literally was like astounded by it. Just the simple simplicity. And what we're going to go through today is basically the beautiful little offer. Okay. So this is what we're going to go through today and have the clarity onto it. Here's what a shitty offer is really costing your business. All right. Listen to Kevin Hart. He's telling you no. You might say that you have a good offer. You're like, yeah, I did an offer. This guru guy told me, hey, do a irresistible offer, and then you basically never used it, and now it's in one of your Google Doc folders that you haven't touched, and it's collecting dust over time. So let's not do that. This is the reasons why, how the offer is situated, why we need to make it a little bit more optimized, and how I'm going to help you do that. So the shitty offer and what it's really, don't listen to me, listen to Kevin Hart. What it's really costing your business is this like tier. It's like a ripple effect. So when you have a weak offer, then you have weak content. And when you have weak content, you have low watch time. Then when you have low landing page clicks, then you have low action, no bookings, no purchase, hard on sales calls, and hard in the DMs. And why do I say that with such confidence? Oh, because, yeah, you see, you don't want to be like him, all right? We don't want to be decreasing over time, all right? And this is where it happens, where businesses are always fluctuating up and down and not having that consistent growth. Here's the thing. I like to give an example of a different one. So the complicated guy over here, he's saying that he has a really good offer, and he's saying like, I help visionary founders systematize scalable digital marketing infrastructures. Okay, I'm not going to even say the rest. This guy right over here, he gave me his offer. He's just trying to give all of the fancy words so he seems like an authority. That's not true. Actually, you just lost clientele because of that. Two is the woman who I like to call who hasn't found her voice. All right? She says, I help women become the best version of themselves through mindset, alignment, and inner work. Beautiful, but here's the thing, you sound like everyone else. So these are not really great offers and in the ways of how this is positioned. So if this is something that may have resonate with you, this is something where we'll be able to optimize, because you have to realize nowadays is that attention spans are shrinking so much. All right. Not you, because you understand the name of social media. I'm wanting you to be a creator, not a consumer. That is my goal, especially with you. And I want you to like look at social media like a game. Like everything is a game. When you know how people consume, that is whenever you know and can attract the currency that comes with it. Intention is shrinking. Clarity is the new currency. So we need clarity in everything that you're building. All right. And this is where we're going to have the I need it now offer framework. All right. So this is where we'll dive deep and let's get started into the actual implementations of this all. How I like to view this is like a chain. All right. So there's a chain, there's 4 chains. All right. And within these, if one of them is not, it's broken, then all of them are going to break. It's not going to work. It's not going to be the ripple effect. And if another one is not working, then the offer is not going to be good. And with business owners that I see that work with me and I see time and time again, they have all of them that are not good. So we're kind of stuck in this whole situation because this is the reason why maybe they're feeling stuck and frustrated and why they're not at their goals, which is completely fine because we're going to fix on each and every step. So first one, write this down. Dream buyers. All right. So let me give you a bit of context whenever it comes to it, because we're not talking about, oh, okay, ideal clients, the demographics, where are they, ages from, blah, blah, blah. Because let me give you a perspective shift. An individual who came to me, who literally messaged me, says, like, honestly, in April, I almost shut down my business because I was so depressed. He grown a social media following. He literally had the views, the likes, the followers. He had this status. And let me give you this clarity, and let me tell you right now, you don't need followers to get clientele. This is why I created a whole brand new account to prove that wrong. And he was about to shut down his business when he was having over like hundreds of thousands of followers. It's because he attracted viewers, but not viewers who were willing to pay him. So I want you to get the misconception of needing more followers to realizing that you just need to make sure that what you're creating is for the dream buyers that are actually going to pay for your services and your offer. And that is where we're going to go through these different things for a dream buyer. Okay? So for a dream buyer, we like to go through these steps: identity, pain, and desire. That is what is needing for a dream buyer. Let me kind of show you how that kind of looks like. All right. Because I'm a very visual person. For myself, I like to see visuals. People can say things. I'm more of like, okay, show me a picture. You know what? I honestly ask ChatGPT all the time. I'm like, hey, can you like make this into a picture? I don't know if I'm like the only one, but
Quick pause if this is starting to click for you and you're realizing there's a bit more that you need to break down and you realize that your problem isn't views, it's more about your offer, your messaging, and your system, I go even deeper inside my school community. That's where I share the rest of this series, breakdowns, and resources to help you actually build your authority online and not just understand it. So if you want that support, the link to the school community is in the description below. But other than that, let's get back into it.
Okay, so we have, let's go over my hair. Okay, we have stepping stairs. These are the stepping stairs going up over here. All right, I'm gonna kind of write down everything. So, and then we'll kind of go through it step by step. All right, let's go right over here. Let's go over here. Let's go over here. We're gonna call him Jim. We like Jim. He's a strong guy right over here. All right, we're getting into it. The masterpiece is coming. All right. So here is how I like to reference everything. All right. So the one for your dream buyers is the identity. All right. The identity is not in like where they're at, who they are, age range. It's how do they call themselves? So this identity could be like a CEO mom, or it could be a freelancer, or it could be a coach, consultant, or it can be agency owner. Who is from the dream buyers who actually purchase your product or services? Like, who are they? They could be family, they could be mother, like whichever. What do they identify themselves? All right. And so with the identity, that is the first step to like understanding your dream buyer. All right. You might have multiple. This always happens all the time where like, Bianca, well, I can help everyone. I know you can, which is great. However, like I say, a confused mind does not buy. So be crystal clear within your offer, stick to one, and readjust as needed. You want to be able to go through one path. Okay, that doesn't work, adjust to another path. All right. So this is where it comes to that situation. Oh, so with the identity, we can be able to go to here, list those down. All right. Then we go to the pain. What is the pain? Now, here's how I like to look at everything. All right. So the desire, let's say right here, here is the North Star, I like to call it. All right. The North Star is what your offer can be able to help them achieve to this North Star, like the pretty, oh my gosh, dream result type, like um, going on over here. However, as we all know, and we can have like full transparency when it comes to it, life is not linear. All right. Without darkness, there would be no light. Without suffering, there would be no gratitude. And if it was just one path to be able to reach success, everyone would do it. All right. But no, this is why you're here. You're actively learning. And this is why you win. Because the only way, and I'm telling you, the only way you cannot win is that if you stop. I'm being completely honest. Because you're here. And the only way that you cannot like succeed on this is just if you stop entirely. So get into the habit of the consistency when it comes to this. So there's pain here, and when they're trying to reach that desired goal, they're going to reach this pain, they're going to reach this pain, they're going to reach another pain, they're going to reach another pain. All right, so every stepping stone that they're trying to solve to get to the dream desire that you can obviously like achieve for them, they're going to have to go through this pain and this pain and this pain and this pain. All right, so how can you understand what is the pain that they go through? Look at the comments, look through the sales calls, ask your individuals, the clients who you work with, what was the pain that you had before? Do the market research to understand what was truly that pain. And also, when they're going through the steps of doing it by themselves, what is the pain and suffering that they're going to go and encounter? And then, of course, it's going to go to the desire. So the desire is over here. All right. So now that you have this understanding, the pain, the desire, the identity, and individuals are saying, like, with the identity, it could be a little bit more broad. Yes, the identity can be broad, but the pain and desire should not. So here's like, example. Because more importantly, like we were having this like difference with another like media agency. They were like, we don't know who we need to like pick, and we can help any individuals. We can help going into coaches, consultants. We can help agency owners as well, and so forth. And they didn't know how to say it because, of course, it comes with an identity. And I was like, all right, here's the thing. You can tell, and what are they offering? And I was like, what are you good at helping transform people? And they're like, well, we work really good with individuals that have low ticket offers because we can just scale it through with like ads. And I was like, awesome. So who you help is business owners with low ticket offers that struggle to generate leads and also views and get into consistent like leads every day. So it was going into the areas of, they didn't say entirely of like, we position as their offer if you are have a low ticket rather than if you are a consultant. So that's a way that you can kind of position it to make it different. So you're saying within what they offer, kind of something that is repetitive onto it. So that's with everything going on to here. So let's get the dream audience. That is everything for here. All right, let's go into the next step. With that same individual that was about to shut down, literally just said closed another one, 7K today. No hesitation. Because, like what happened to me last time, whenever I said, like, I had people that I had to convince, it's because when your offer is so damn good, you don't need to pitch it. You just need to invite people to it. So there's no hesitation when your offer, your content speaks for itself, and then the system to guide them to it, where it's like, hey, this is honestly a no brainer. I just tell me where I need to pay and let's go. That is what we're building. So going to the second one, all right, the promise. Now it's going into how can you make North Star right over here, the promise, really great. Now, here's what I kind of want to incentivize over here. Because I've worked with so many different businesses, because I've helped in understanding how the game works, do you need a promise? Which basically is like a guarantee. Can you, is it where you have to guarantee something in return to work with you? Well, it depends. As you know, that we're very much in a trust recession, all right? It's slowly going down. There's not enough trust anymore. People are pitching everything. There's a lot of individuals that are not really doing it the right way, and of course it builds less trust for individuals. So when it comes to creating a a promise, it really comes to these three factors. If you do not have if you have low trust in the online space, you need to have a stronger promise. So let's say you're only targeting cold traffic, and with that cold traffic you're going to have to create a stronger promise because people don't know who you are. So you may think that they do, but it's cold traffic. So you have to have a promise with it. For growing trust, so saying like, okay, you're building that trust over time, just have a clearer promise. All right. Just make it clear on what you're able to deliver. And if you have high trust, you're posting, you're on social media, like they can consume more content, then that's where you need minimal to no promise needed. That is obviously over time if you're just starting out, but that's where it can get to when you've built, like I say, the snowball effect of content, because people post content and then they give up the next day, literally just realize it's a snowball effect. It's really, keep posting without any, like there's nothing, don't think of anything. Just post just to post for the consistent habits, because then it just takes one thing to then it for it to expand and explode. I was about to say expand and explode all in one word. Expand. It's about to explain. Whenever it comes to it, how can we actually create one your buyers actually want? All right. So, first is going to be the outcome, all right, of creating a promise. All right. So, we're going to create you the ultimate promise. And I'm telling you, this is what helps so many businesses that we work with when we have this promise set in place, because they're usually starting out with social media. Some do, some have been doing it. When we implement this promise, oh my, it goes crazy, which I love. So the three things: outcome, timeline, emotion. All right. So with it, the outcome, what are they getting? The North Star over here, what is the thing that they want? the transformation, the win, the breakthrough. All right. What is that dream state? You can take it as like a travel creator talking about, do you want to travel the world and live in the Bahamas? That's kind of like the dream state. All right. But it can also be like if you're an accountant to have everything of your finances all in check. Like that's a dream state for me. I don't know. That's for me. But different things. What is that outcome that they're going to get? Examples can get your first 5 clients, launch your offer, feel confident again, fix your messaging, or grow your income online. Or is the timeline? How fast can they reasonably expect the results? So, right here, let me show you over here. This is the reasons why they want to work with you in your offer, because the thing is that the more that you can condense the pain that they have to go through in a specific amount of time, the easier they're going to pay. So, and the thing is that, so for the example, there's obviously we all know Uber, we love it. But before, whenever they didn't have this feature, there was actually a lot of churn and frustration. So, individuals, when they would get an Uber ride, before they didn't have this feature, they didn't know when the Uber driver was going to come. So, even whenever it was 10 to 15 minutes, people got frustrated and got out. But when they included the feature of having the time it's going to take, the duration for the Uber driver to come to them, people were more likely to wait 30 minutes to an hour longer because of that than waiting 15 minutes without knowing the time. And why is that? Is because you're giving them the control. People like to have certainty and control. And when you understand how people work, you can be able to give them that clarity. So, when it means on getting that control, you just set a specific timeline so you can achieve great body transformation in just like less than 6 months, or do this in 3 months, or in a week, 60 days. When you can be able to condense the transformation in a timeline, people are going to be more likely to wait and also be patient. Because, there has been clients where it's like, I expect the quickest results in the entire world, like a week. And they're like, okay, where's the results? Hmm? That's also obviously where you need to implement the timeline. Because obviously, we're not doing a magic pill. We're basically have to make sure that we give them control on exactly, hey, here's the timeline to achieve X, Y, and Z results. Really important to implement the timeline. Examples 30 days, 6 weeks, 90 days this month. Now it comes to the emotion. What will their life feel like? This is the part that most people skip, and it's the part that actually sells. So, this could be without burning out, without overthinking, without ads, without something either without or while. So it's the emotional aspect that they're going through, and we can kind of say onto here, it's without having to go through this pain, without having to go through this pain, or with the supportment of, one-on-one coaching. You have to understand within what is the emotional aspect of what they're going to be going through. So without feeling disorganized with all of your bills piling up, so forth. You have to understand is that people buy through emotion, then they reason through logic. So when you can tap onto the emotional state of what happens on what they're going through in their journey, the better that you're able to help them and transform their life. Does this all make sense? What can you be able to do? What does your offer help with? You can say something that they don't need to deal with without stressing, without having to pay for, thousands of dollars on courses. Like what would you say if you had to think about what would be your emotion that you can help your ideal viewers with or without having? When you have the outcome and timeline and emotion set in place, that is your promise. Because when we did this, we did a cold traffic launch campaign in August, and we had at the end of August an 80% close rate with cold traffic, everyone. This offer was a 17K offer. And that was because of the ways and how we were positioning within the offer. What we said was a transformation without burning money on ads, without having to go on the viral hamster wheel. We really toyed on that emotional aspect of what people may think to what is actually not the case. So it could always be like common misconceptions of what is told that you need to do, but is not the case. All right. And then we're going to go to the third one, which is basically your named process. All right. The named process is going to be exactly your signature method. So everything that you're doing onto here, let's say that you condense this time frame from this time frame, and that is going to be, and I'm going to unshare my screen so you guys can see this. So from here to here is the first step, right? And then from here to here is going to be the second step. And then from here to over here, as you can see, is going to be the third step. All right. So why do we say a signature method? Now, a signature method is so important because, like I'm saying, this is going to be utilized. What we're creating right here, make sure that we get everything down. What we're creating is all going to help on the content and the messaging for next class. So, the signature method is basically finding a unique method that is going to be distinguishedly as yours. So, rather than using a method that other individuals are saying, you are creating your own unique method through your experiences, through what you've learned, through what works, and basically coining it as your framework. The reasons for this, because psychologically, when you create your own method or ideology, people are going to feel this sense of, oh, wait, I haven't known about this. Is this a better, brighter way? So people are going to have this curiosity peak because it's a method that they're unaware of and they want to learn more. So when you coin a method that is distinctly yours, you are going to obviously position yourself as a higher authority and also differentiate yourself from your other competitors. Let's get a hell yes. All right, so whenever it comes to it, we want to be able to build the formula, okay? So the great process of this all is, all right, we got to make sure that it is simple, repeatable, understandable, and I'll kind of tell you exactly within the grandma test a little bit later, all right? And so for that, this is where we're going to have that process. Obviously, take some time, after this to be able to figure out what that process is. Now, you might say you have so many different steps and you're like, Bianca, but I have X, Y, and Z and this and this and this and this and this and this. And it goes all the way. Like, there's so much, there's just not 3 or 4 steps. That's okay. Like I said in the beginning of our chat that we're having here, is think bigger. All right. Get bird's eye view of this all right? Don't get too much in the nitty gritty, because when you think of the bird's eye view of this, we can basically condense all of those little small different things that it takes to be able to achieve X, Y, and Z result, and then condense it into a smaller method, all right? And so the method is basically, it could be for more of a service, like saying, especially if you're going to go into your, like, say if you're like a stylist and you do hair for a living, then more importantly how you would transition it is more of like your unique name for the transformation that you're able to provide. Obviously you're not going to fill out the steps of being like step 1, step 2, step 3, but you can coin a method that is basically, if you want to get this transformation, then this is basically the Angeline Jolie hair or the Tate McRae hair type of deal. So you're basically coining on the ways of the transformation that it's distinctly yours. All right. And within naming the process, it could always just be anything from the method, the system, the blank framework, the blank blueprint, however it lights you up. Whatever says, like, this is it, I like this, I can stand by this will be great. All right. So this is going to be your process. Now, fourth one. All right. We are on the last link. This is everything of what we're going to be setting in place is the proof. All right. So the proof is now going to be putting everything all together. All right. As you know, we are still in a trust recession, but it's not a big deal. But we just have to understand how to play the game right. And so with this all, buyers don't believe words anymore. You can have all this fluff and, now that we have so much sales, I feel like my algorithm is a whole bunch of sales individuals, but there's just so many individuals just yapping and not really showing the proof and implementation. And so proof removes all the fear for that. So certain ways that you can be able to do it is through different things. Now, this could be a case study breakdown video where you're showcasing exactly the breakdown of how you've been able to transform your client's, success. Interview testimonial, be able to hop on a call with them and ask, hey, let's do a podcast interview. A client video testimonial, ask one of your clients, hey, could you be able to create a video for me? There can also be text, testimonials, of course, your personal, and data-driven screenshots, anything that you're showcasing that you could be able to do.
So if you watch to the rest of this video, then you should already have your I Need It Now offer. And if you go to the link in the description, join the community and post your offer inside, we can help you refine it and make sure it's optimized for best on your ads, your content, your landing pages, your VSL, your captions. There's so much that refining on your I Need It Now offer that's going to make a huge difference. And also, if you liked this video and it was helpful, make sure to hit the like button and as well subscribe to the channel, as you can stay up to date on any new videos that I post. Other than that, I'll see you guys in the next video.